Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Mondays with Micah. I have a new widow on the scene, me, Barbara Harris.
Yes.
And I'm so happy she chose to wear red today. So I think that means that she must have looked on our website. And I'm going in Navy. So I think we complement pretty well.
Yeah.
How did Barbara get in touch with me is because of the Western Tidewater. They have some counseling services there. Is that
They
correct?
do.
And you called her your case manager.
My case manager.
Okay, so we have not had anyone on the show here that came from that organization. But can you explain a little bit about what the Western Tidewater is, so that other widows and widowers may know of their services?
Western Tidewater is a organization that has been in existence for at least 40 years. I have been client there for over 20 years. I came to them in 1996 with a diagnosis of bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And through the years, they've helped me deal with the ins and outs of that disorder.
Okay.
And having them in my life has really been a big help, because there's cancer on both sides of my family.
Okay.
There's heart attack and strokes. I've had 4 strokes and 2 heart attacks.
Wow.
So it's like, of course, these things affect your behavior.
Yes.
These things affect your behavior. And having had that support
Yes.
all these years
Wow.
has made a big difference in my rehabilitation.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And so even when you moved here, you found that they had a local chapter.
Yes.
So wherever you've been,
they've been there.
They've been
Because I
there.
lived in Hampton.
Okay.
I lived in Newport News. I lived in Suffolk, and I moved in Franklin. And there are CSB, Western Tidewater offices in those 4 areas.
I did not even know this, and that's why I had to bring it up, because and they do, and it's not just counseling that they do there. They have other services as well, right?
They support services where people come for the day, adults and children, and they have in-house programs for people with disorders, from children to adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how can you utilize their services?
Well, all you have to do is what they call a walk-in intake. You just go there. I think it's Monday through Thursday between 8 and 2, and speak to the walk-in, the intake counselor, and tell them what your needs are, and they put you with a team that can help you with whatever you're dealing with.
And so Yolanda Schaefer is your case
Manager,
and she sent me an email through the Widow Walk email, and I followed up with her, and then she gave me a call while Barbara was actually in one of her sessions. And then I was able to get Barbara's contact information, and then we had a conversation, and now she's here. And so it was a beautiful conversation. I said, "You're coming over. Just get in your car."
I found my home.
Yeah, that's it.
I found my home.
And so I love this information, because I've not had a widow, as I said, utilize their services. And I have known of them, and they've been at different events that I've been to, because they typically come with a booth when we have the fall festival and different community events where we can have booths. They would come with a booth, the Business Expo. And there was something at the Rawls Museum this winter, which was on grief. And some of their employees came to that. So we have intertwined to an extent, but just so you know, there is services available. And where are they located?
They're located on Is it Main
Is it
Street?
2nd Avenue? Is it the one?
It's 2nd Avenue in Franklin. They're located at 1000 Commercial Lane in Suffolk. I don't know the address for Hampton and Newport News,
Yes.
but they have 4 primary locations, and Portsmouth as well.
Okay. Good.
Portsmouth as well. So there's 5.
And okay, so now you've been already seeing them, but you told me it's been in the last 60 days that you lost your husband.
Yes, I lost my husband April the 11th.
Okay. And
And
do you want to talk about that?
I could talk about that, but that is one of the services that they do not offer is grief counseling.
Okay.
They do not offer grief counseling because that was one of the first things I did was contact my therapist, Ms. Boyd, to Ms. Bond, to see if they offer grief counseling because I've gone back to school to pursue a degree in psychology because I want to be a Christian counselor. And my student advisor, after a month, about 6 weeks, told me, she said, Miss Barbara, I'd like to speak with you. She said, I don't want to try and get in your business. And she said, I know you see a therapist every week and you see a psychiatrist. She said, but you need grief counseling. She said, because you were with your husband for 31 years and now he's gone. So your whole life has changed and you need to be with people that have gone through similar experiences so they can help guide you through this new journey. She said, because it is a journey.
Yes.
Because she said, I know when my father died, my mom needed guidance and she got professional help, and she say grief counseling is so much different from the different types of counseling you've been getting over the last 20 years. And I contacted Miss Bond and I contacted Miss Schaefer and let them know that I was looking for a grief counseling support group because I was in denial stage.
Okay.
I was in a denial stage because when anybody asked me how I was doing, how things was going, everything's fine, everything's fine. And Miss Bond, the therapist, told me, she said, well, Miss Harris, you can't be fine. You were with your husband for 31 years and now he's not there. Your whole life has changed. You can't be fine. She said, you operating on fumes. So
did that settle in?
Yes, that I took their advice.
Okay.
And then when it really, really hit me, I went from being in denial to being depressed because after 31 years, him being there every day, and then he was not there, and he wasn't going to come back.
Right.
And there were so many things that he did for me because I was seriously ill for about 15 years. So he was my primary caregiver. Because even now, because of medication that I take at 5:30, I'm not awake at 8 o'clock because it makes me drowsy. So, he would always wake me to take my 8 o'clock medication. And now I either have to stay up until 8 o'clock to take the medicine. I have set my alarm, but I don't always hear it. And I had talked to my therapist about it. She said, well, maybe we need to increase the volume on your alarm so you'll hear it because it's important that I take the medications that I take and take them on the same at the same time every day. So I don't want to get away from the work that I've done.
Yes.
To keep myself stable.
That's right.
Because as you well know, Micah, a person with a bipolar disorder diagnosis can really get very far outfield without the right medication. And I don't want to slip.
Right.
I don't want to slip.
Very, very well said. And again, you're bringing up topics that I believe cover more widows than we know
Mm-hmm.
because your story wasn't of a widow until it was.
It was.
And so when that transition happens and you were saying that it was an acute
Illness.
was it a heart attack?
No, it was sepsis.
Sepsis. Okay.
It was sepsis.
Now what brought that on?
My husband had been diagnosed with enlarged prostate, and they found a tumor in his prostate, and we suspect that it was cancerous because it was hereditary in his family. But because he's on January the 7th, he started losing sensation, motor sensation in his upper arms and his hands. It got to the point that he couldn't really grip anything. He couldn't hold on to things. And we started taking him to see different doctors. And one doctor said that it was hypothyroidism, and they put him on Synthroid.
Okay.
They put him on Synthroid, and the progression of the desensitizing went from his arms to his legs. He had a problem. He started having a problem walking and then standing. And so finally we went to see another doctor, and because it's like he couldn't stand up one day. So we went to Southampton Bon Secours, and the doctor there, Dr. Hughes,
I don't know,
did a complete workup on him.
Excellent.
And he said, Mr. Askew, I don't think that your problem is your thyroid. He said, I think you have some neurological stuff going on.
Wow.
And they referred him to a neurologist. But his symptoms just got worse.
Right.
And he had to end up being hospitalized in Franklin. When the day that he was discharged, because they couldn't do anything for him.
Wow.
They couldn't do anything for him. He got to the point that he could walk in the hospital, and so they decided to discharge him. And one of the nurses that was working on his case told me, she said, Miss Harris, when I discharge your husband today, she said, do me a favor. She said, put him in your car and take him to Norfolk General and demand that he see a neurologist. And that's what I did.
Wow.
And when we got to Norfolk General, as soon as the neurologist examined him, they knew what was wrong with him. He had 3 displaced discs in his neck, and they were pushing into his spinal cord. And that was what was causing him not to be able to walk and losing the use of his arms, because the parts of the brain were being affected. He had the surgery. He had the neck surgery. Perfect surgery.
Wow.
Came out fine. But he was wearing a catheter. And like most men, their babies when they're sick, they're little punks. And he wouldn't let me do the daily cath care. So he got a UTI in the course of weeks. And he ended up getting septic. And I remember that morning I had gone to Paul D. Camp to take an exam. And I said, well, after I take my exam, instead of staying here to 12:30 and doing the work for next week, I'm going to go home. And I went home, and he was not cognitively there. and he said, I don't feel good. And I said, well, let's get you washed up, and then we'll call the ambulance and take you to the hospital. Well, when I got him washed up, and the ambulance guys came because they had were taking him to the hospital like every week for something or another. So they had gotten a rapport. That day, the 10th of April, they came to get him. They said, Mr. Askew, you ready? He said, yes, I'm ready. When he stood up with their help, his blood pressure bottomed out and he crashed to the floor. I'm telling you, Michael, I've never been so scared in my life.
Yes.
They couldn't get his blood pressure. You know, they tried getting his blood pressure. They put him on a stretcher. They took him to the ambulance, and they worked on him a half an hour in the driveway. Cause they didn't move until they could get his blood pressure back. They got him to Southampton. They worked on him in the back for 2 hours. 2 hours. And then he stabilized, and they were pushing, fluids and stuff to get his volume up so that his blood pressure would come up. So this all started like 10:30 in the morning. By 3:30 in the afternoon, he was stable, and they moved him to ICU. And I stayed up there with him till 7 o'clock. At about 10 after 7, he told me, Barbara, I want you to go home. He said, because these ICU cubicles are so small, the only thing they can get in here is the patient bed and a straight back chair, and I don't want you sitting in a chair all night. He said, go home and come back in the morning. And he said, I'll pay your phone bill, because it's like I've had a phone for years, but I never paid my own phone bill. He paid my phone bill for me online. He said, I'll pay your phone bill in the morning. 2:10 a.m. I got the call from the hospital. He had passed. His pressure bottomed out again, and they couldn't get it back up, and he had a temperature from the sepsis. They said he was a very sick man. They said they were sorry he made it as long as he did that night.
Wow.
52 years old. Gone.
It don't add up. I mean, you explained it, but it doesn't really add up.
It don't.
It doesn't really add up.
Just like that, he was gone.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, because
it's just like somebody just snatched him.
That's it.
Just snatched him.
And so, like you said, then what do you do after that?
What do you do after that? Because I was lost.
Hey, it was a different experience for me, and we'll not get into that, but because y'all who've been following this already know the story. But all that to say, there is a real thing that happens physiologically in the spouse that remains. There is something that happens in the shock, and you're early on. So I'm going to ask you some questions about that, because I'm quantifying this information for the listener to realize this is normal.
Yes.
Whether it's enjoyable, that's a different question. But did you feel that after that, one, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the process of him telling you to come back and then you getting that call is shocking.
It was.
Did you feel like you got to say goodbye?
No.
And what is it about not being able to say goodbye that has that affected you?
I feel guilty.
Oh, really?
I feel guilty that I wasn't there. Because we had promised each other that we would be together. If one of us passed before the other, because I had some serious health problems over, a 18-year period, and he had seen me code so many times, with the bariatric hypoglycemia, the heart attacks and the strokes, You know, it's like he was so afraid of me passing that he would come and wake me up to make sure I was breathing at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wear a CPAP,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very quiet. And he said sometimes he said there wasn't a night that went by that he didn't come hover over me to make sure I was breathing.
Mm.
And if he couldn't see my chest rising and
Mm-hmm.
falling, he'd wake me up to make sure I was still alive.
Wow. And then yet, I mean, he was in the right place.
Right.
I mean, if anybody was going to keep him alive, it should have been the hospital.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he was where he was supposed to be.
Right. And then he got called in. He got called
Go
in.
home.
And it's a fascinating thing. 9 years of walking with people through grief, observing it, being frustrated by it.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I have started to use this term, even though that particular situation you're saying is very fast and you're having to be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're focused on his survival. That's
Right.
what you're focused on.
Right.
You're not focused on anything else
Mm-mm.
because you needed to get him stable.
Right.
And so your mind doesn't really go into the other things. I'm not, you can speak back into it, but I'm saying when we're in a state of survival mentally,
Mm-hmm.
the next thing is all you can think about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think big picture.
No.
You don't think a week from now.
No.
You're thinking moment by moment.
Yes.
Okay. So then when this thing happens, I've read this and I'm just going to let you know that when people don't say goodbye and have that closure sometimes.
Yeah.
And my husband, I found him in the shower.
Oh, wow.
So his was a heart aneurysm.
Oh, okay.
So that was acute, you know, and it was here one day, gone the next.
Right.
It does take time for your brain and your body and your heart to come to acceptance.
Yeah.
And it's not all at once.
I know.
And so all that to say is that this is a sacred time for you.
It is.
Even when people are on hospice, which for my family, the history I have with people passing really weren't on hospice. Mm-hmm. So it was like family took care of them and they passed.
Right.
Or they were in the hospital or something. But it wasn't this like they were on hospice for a month thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know that. I don't have history in that, but I'm bringing that up because I believe that all of that time, if I want to call it like the end of life phase, for those who get that phase, I truly believe that it is something sacred.
It is.
And I truly believe also that the Father has a sweet spot for the widow.
Yes.
I'm telling you, he does.
He always has. It says on the Bible.
I'm telling.
It says on the Bible. Make sure you take care of the widows
and the orphans.
And the orphans.
And true spirituality is those who care for the widow and the orphan. And what I want to say is that yes, we are sitting here as identified as widows, but there's also a spiritual component to this where I have heard it said, when members of a congregation were with a congregation for a long time and the church closed or the pastor, something happened, you know, the members of the congregation felt orphaned. You heard of that?
And they go through grief.
They also go. So what I'm trying to tell you is that there is a reality of it being in real
time.
Yes, like fatherlessness or something. But there's also a spiritual component to that.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just in the natural, it's in the spiritual too.
As well.
Yes. And so that is where I have been very curious about the human experience, curious about grief, because there are these parallels. And the more that we can identify those things. And so I'm going to speak into some things that you are in a window right now where if you are a spiritual person, I believe you are a spiritual person. And for those watching, that you now have the authority of the house. Your husband is not there. You have a direct line to the Father. It's not that you didn't have one before, but when two are one, you would most likely in life discuss things with your spouse,
right?
And then pray to the Father too. Whatever. Well, you don't have him here to discuss it anymore. That is frustrating.
It is.
But there is a higher power. There is a higher source that wants to become your source.
Yes.
And it's not that he wasn't your source. I'm saying that the strength of that bond can increase now. And any concerns or doubts or overwhelm that we have about making decisions, the more you lean into the source, the more peace you'll have, and the answers will come.
That's why I've had the peace that I've had since Alan died, because I do lean into God. You know, before I can even put my feet on the floor, when I wake up, I sleep on my side. And when I wake up and find out that I'm actually awake, the first thing is, thank you, God, for giving me another day. And then I have my conversation with God. Because they say, you don't have to be on your knees to pray.
That's right.
You can pray anywhere. And I find that I'm praying throughout the day for the Lord to give me strength just to keep going.
That's it. That's it.
Just to keep going.
And the scripture says, in our weakness, he gets to show himself strong.
Yes.
And so this is not comfortable. Because nobody wants to feel weak. Nobody wants to feel hopeless or weak. You know what I'm saying? But when we acknowledge our weakness and you call out, his strength gets to swoop in.
Yeah. And
then you say, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
And then you can say, it wasn't in my own strength.
It wasn't.
And that liberated me.
Nothing, Micah, nothing that I'm doing now is on my own strength. All that I'm doing is on God's strength. Because like my professors and stuff felt like, well, maybe you want to withdraw from classes and deal with your grief. I told them no. I said, the grief is a part of me.
Yeah.
What I'm pursuing is something that God led me to. And I prayed on it. And he didn't say, Barbara, quit school because Alan died. I've got to go on. And having the homework and stuff to do, it keeps me focused.
Thank you. Again, folks, I say this, grief demands a response.
Yes.
And the response was to keep going.
Yeah.
And he's giving her something. And this is where my brain likes to imagine and say, yes, sometimes it can be hard to think your husband served you and kept you alive. And then when it was your turn to serve him, to keep him alive,
I was there.
You were there. However, his story finished.
So it's God. It's me and God.
And it is you and God. And you served him until the end. Even if you weren't there for that final hand holding, there was someone else there. Who took his hand.
He wasn't alone.
Exactly.
And that's why that's why I have my peace. Because, oh, Lord, I'm getting chills.
That's good.
Like, that night.
Yes.
That Friday night.
Yes.
He said, I'm tired, Barbara. I'm going to sleep.
Yep.
He said, I'm tired. I'm going to rest.
Yep.
He said he was going to sleep at first, but then he said he was going to rest.
Yes.
So, and I know he was tired because he had fought that battle from January to April.
That's right.
And here's completely viral.
Yes.
Active, independent person, able to bench press 200 pounds.
Wow.
You know, and it's like, and all of a sudden, you can't even wipe your own butt.
Yeah.
And then for him to be reduced to what he was reduced to.
No quality of life.
When I look back after he passed, him making me go so he could be with God. He said, Barbara, he said, I've made my peace with God. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I want to rest. And so that's what carries me.
That's it.
That was his words. That him and God had their meeting.
Yes, they have.
He had their meeting. Because those hours that I wasn't with him, he was with God.
That's it.
And he went to God. You know, he didn't leave me.
That's right.
He went to the Father.
Get on the pulpit, honey. I need you to get on the pulpit. I'm telling you.
He didn't leave me.
That's
he went to the Father.
And so let me just pause here. Why does she feel that? Why do you feel the chills? Because it's truth.
Right. Yeah.
That's the truth.
He went to the Father.
But let me just say to you listening, we talked about this in June in our gathering about the beat of a lie. That there is an accuser out there, and the widow is vulnerable.
Yes.
To the attack of the accuser through the mind. And so when she mentioned the thing of feeling guilty and things that are normal to be able to process through, but what happened is you started that way, but what she's telling me now is that's the truth. And we have to remind ourselves of the truth, because when we're feeling down, those other thoughts come to haunt us.
Yes.
And I'm reinforcing it again, you have the authority to say, I'm not receiving that. That was just a thought. I'm like, you know what? We don't have to pick up everything that someone's putting down. We don't have to identify with that. We don't have to accept that thought.
Right.
It's junk. But when we are tired and when we're frustrated, we're more easily to say, you're right. Whatever the these are things. And so when also for those listening, when you're combating bipolar, there's some additional neurological things that
going on.
that are challenges. But you have been walking with this long enough now that you see some of it, right? I'm not, you can.
Yeah, I see it.
And so like she's saying, she understands there is a stability when you are taking your medications and things. And so I am so proud to hear the things you're saying. So proud to hear the things you're saying, because it shows just how brave widows have to be. But they're warriors. I say widows are on the front lines of life.
They are.
You had to face death, and now you're walking beyond the death line. Okay? And choose to still live.
Yeah, I do. I do.
And so she's going back to school, y'all. She's going to be helping.
At 73.
Folks, I'm telling you, this is the call of the Father over her life.
Yes.
To blow wind of energy back into her to say, you're not dead because you're not done.
Right, I'm not done.
She's not done.
He's got something for me to do.
Exactly. And the grief has a way of
paralyzing you.
Thank you. You want to, I said it tries to throw you in the ditch too, the coffin. It wants to throw you in
the
there.
coffin with the
exactly.
The spouse.
And because if your brain can stay locked into that,
yeah, you're never going to function.
Then your mobility is limited. There's paralysis in grief if you allow it to really take over.
Yeah.
But there is a higher source. And there's a higher voice. And if you lean into that, he will give you the motivation and the energy to keep stepping. So you're building you're validating my case here that no matter what we're walking through, he can give us the peace. And the scripture says that enter into your rest. That's verse. I mean, so that when she was talking about the sleep is one thing, but rest is a state of mind. Rest is an embodied place.
Yeah, because I felt like, looking back, he told me first. He said, I don't want you here. I'm just gonna sleep. And then he said, I need rest. He said, I'm going to rest. See, he was saying goodbye.
I'm telling you.
He was saying goodbye.
For you to have this revelation will give you peace the rest of your life. Because that is the truth. I know it as deep as to the core.
Yeah.
And even if in the moment you couldn't fully absorb all that he was saying. I truly do believe that not everyone, depending on the illness, but I do believe people have conversations.
Yes, I do too.
And I think the Lord allows
it to happen.
And that's his mercy. When you say he, for 4 months, lost his mobility, the quality of life was declining. How much longer do you want anyone to have to suffer like that?
I didn't want. I'm telling you, Micah, it broke my heart seeing him suffer because he was always so active and busy. I used to tease him out when he was the laziest man alive because in any job that he took on, he treated it like it was his business. He was the perfect employee. But once he crossed the threshold at home, he didn't do nothing. Once he crossed the threshold at home, he didn't do nothing but sit in the recliner. But I used to tease him all the time, about you're a bum. But when he was what he needed to be then, because it's like he said, well, when I'm home, this is my sanctuary.
Yes.
And he said, you don't know, because he worked police work and security for 29 years, even as a bodyguard. He has seen all the ugliness that the world had to show. And really and truly, at one point, like the first, I'll say the first 8 years we were together, when he went to work, even when he was working in a supervisory position, a lot of times he had to go on calls to areas where his people, the guards or the lesser policemen were, and he had to actually engage in physical fisticuffs to keep, at one point, to keep, what do you call a suspect from grabbing the officer's gun and shooting the officer with it.
He had to go to clear up for interference. He had to basically go and wow.
Because the officer was on a site and
they needed backup.
And he needed backup, and he had called, and Alan was the first person to get there. And he said the guy had him down and was trying to take his gun out of the holster. He was going to shoot him with his own gun.
I mean, I've interviewed another widow who lost her husband in the line of duty, and she said she had married a police officer, but her father and his father were police officers, and they were still alive. So she did not have a fear of him not coming home because they always did. But in this case, her husband didn't. Now, with the job that he was doing, were you ever concerned about that?
Yes.
You were?
Yes. because I knew every day or night, because he was nights.
Mm-hmm.
I knew every day when he left home, that there was a possibility that he would not make it back alive because of where he worked.
But I believe you prayed.
I prayed
for protection.
for protection.
I'm telling
yes,
you.
I prayed over him.
Yes.
I prayed over him.
I'm telling you.
Prayed over him for 31 years.
The women are rising up. The women have authority over their households and are protecting more than we know.
Yeah, I prayed over him for 31 years.
That's a blessing, folks. That's a blessing. Not every husband receives. Not every husband receives it because they don't believe in it.
And the thing about him, he would say to me, like when one of his co-workers was diagnosed with cancer, he said, "Baby, will you pray for my partner? He's been diagnosed with cancer." He was always asking me to pray for people, and people that he met in his line of work, people that were living below the poverty level and stuff. Because I can tell you, it's like Alan was a good man. He's fed a mental child and mental adult because it's like he had it was in his heart.
Yes.
He presented hard, but he had a big heart. He has helped a lot of people. He's helped a lot of people. And when he passed, all the calls that I got about ask you this and ask you that, and the young man that comes to see me now sometimes, and him and his wife has invited me over. I'd never seen them because he would go to their house, but he wouldn't take me. But they have reached out to me and invited me to let them know for what he had done for him. He said, "I've known Askew for 10 years." And he said, "I have learned so much from him." He said, because it's like I wasn't even aware of my rights as an officer. And he said, "Your husband schooled me so that I didn't get myself in trouble."
And I believe that that's also part of your healing. Because you're getting to hear things that he did behind the scenes.
Yeah, that I know nothing about.
Exactly. And that happened to me as well. There were people that came to the funeral. There were people that came out of the woodwork, if you want to say, and showed up and said, "This is what your husband did for me. This is what your husband did for me." And something flipped in my brain, and I call it sending and mending. But basically, what I concluded was my husband's acts of kindness paid it forward for me.
Yeah.
There were people that showed up on the back end because he showed up on the front
end.
Again, not everybody is like that. And so that was another blessing that I received. And he was a pastor's son, so there is more servanthood kind of in, their way. And he was a teacher, but he had a lot of students, over 20 years of teaching that came. And what happened? Good teachers, they're like uncles to these students. They're sometimes like a father figure. Depends on their home life.
Because really, with the kids, sometimes that strong man in their life, teacher, whatever, they become their father because they don't have that.
That's right.
They don't have that.
And they were willing to speak into their light.
Right.
And so your husband was doing that too.
Yeah, he was.
And now there's better citizens in the earth.
Because of him.
Yes. And so now she's figuring out how to give back as well.
Yeah.
And there you have a new leash on life, if some will say. And I hope you're feeling energy coming into your body.
Yeah, that's why I work in the community. I'm one of the sister organization, Brothers Keepers, Women of Grace, Strength, and Dignity. And we're having a back to school free haircut and free hairdos for the young men and the young women, because a lot of them can't afford to get their hair done. And that's a big thing for a
Yes,
kid
yes,
to
yes,
your appearance,
yes.
not being picked on a bullet because your hair looks raggedy. I don't know about in the white community, but in the black community, a lot is placed on appearance, especially going back to school.
Okay.
Especially going back to school. It's a big thing.
Okay.
It's a big thing.
I mean, obviously we get haircuts, but I don't think it's quite the same,
It's not.
or the pressure about it, or
No.
maybe the stigma towards the expectations, the word I want to say. Maybe I think there may be more expectation.
There's more expectation.
Yes. With us, hey, take it or leave it. We're kind of, I don't know. I mean, my son's cutting hair now.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some of the students in the school.
Oh, good.
So he brings them here to the house, and he's got a little side gig of cutting hair.
Oh, yeah.
So he values, and my husband had cut men in the church's hair too.
Oh, yeah.
So he's kind of picked it up. I said, we're in the business of making people feel good.
Yeah. And really and truly, like I used to tell, because my sister would tease me about when I got my hair done. She said, "Oh, you got your hair done. You're trying to get a little something from your husband." I said, "No." I said, "I get my hair done because for me,
yes, ma'am,
the way it makes me feel."
Mm-hmm.
I said, when I can't see the parts in my braids, I know it's time to get my hair done because it's starting to look a little fluffy. And I don't like fluffy. I like a pulled together look.
I hear that. I do think your community gets to have a little more fun with hair.
Yeah.
I have tried to have some fun. The one time I remember I tried to do a clip-in, and it was so hot, but a sister, she said, you got that clip-in? I said, yes, ma'am. She could identify all the little pieces, the things. But I think there's more
pressure.
You all explore with it more.
Yeah, experiment.
Yes, experiment. Thank you. And I think that's coming into our side a little bit with
a little bit more. Yeah.
colors and braids and whatever. But I would say typically in our community they would like less experimentation. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't want us to really do that. So there's a
and really when you think about it, because I mean certain braids you have to sit for 8 hours.
Absolutely.
You get dump cheeks. Certain hairstyles you have to sit for 8 hours. I could never do an 8-hour hairstyle. It takes commitment. It takes commitment. It takes the young lady, my grandson's friend. It takes her an hour to braid my hair, and that's all I can stand. Because I could never get box braids or the micro braids because there's no way I'm gonna sit nowhere for 6 to 8 hours.
Right.
I can't do it.
Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation. I'm excited for your future. I mean, that's really what I want to say here. And
I'm excited to meet you.
Well, we're going to have more conversations because she's going to start coming to some of our gatherings and meeting some peers.
Yeah.
And we continue to have conversations. And I told her, I said, well, our structure changes because there's some months that it feels like we just need to let out some steam with grief and kind of say our process together. And that can feel, a little bit sad. But when you're in a group of loving people,
where you feel safe.
Yes, very safe. And that's sacred too, because you're talking about your heart. And when we're talking about heart things, and I told her this on the phone, she said, are you saying hard things or are you saying heart things? I said, I'm saying heart things because I don't even want to call all of it hard things.
Right.
When we're talking about matters of the heart and you invite the Lord into it, they don't become as hard.
Mm-mm.
And we don't have to sit in the hard not life, you know, and all of these terms that people say. We can rise above, and then we can tell others, well, it doesn't even look like you're having a hard time. And you can say, no, it's not that I'm not having a hard time, but he's walking with me.
Yeah.
And and I'm thankful every morning.
It makes a difference.
And when I pray and say, thank you, Lord, for giving me breath in my lungs again, there's a pep in your step that comes. There's a joy that comes. And I believe that is every widow's portion. I don't think they all receive it.
No.
But I'm telling you, it is yours to grab a hold of. And I tell folks, look, just like Grace, you grab up and you pull it down.
Yeah, right.
We can be aggressive about joy. We can pull it into our presence. We don't have to just say, well, plop. Some people got it. Some people didn't. No, I'm saying you reach for it. And you keep reaching until you feel the effect. And so if you want to know more about some of these programs, we're going to link the Western Tidewater below, just so we want to continue to grow our resources and being able to connect with other local resources, because we're better together.
We are.
We're better together. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with this episode, or you just want to say goodbye?
I want to say I thank God for connecting me with your group.
Awesome.
And see, my therapist gave me the initial number. Evidently, Miss Schaefer knew something about you and contacted you. And then on top of that, you know, my friend that's a school teacher, Tammy Woods, she lost her husband 5 years ago. She said she's not ready yet. She's not ready yet. But that won't nothing but confirmation.
Exactly.
That from three people in my three sources in my life, I got the same information.
Message. And there you go. Once again, when you question, like, what am I supposed to do? Is this the right thing? Out of 2 or 3 witnesses. That's in Scripture. And it reinforces our confidence. And there is something with fresh widows when you're having to kind of step out and do some things that our confidence can be a little challenged. We have to be brave. That's what I say. We have to brave up and fake it until we make it. Basically, if you don't feel brave, do it anyway until
act brave.
Act brave. Exactly. And it doesn't mean that that we're not scared. And I've seen that where it says, look, people who seem brave, there's still fear, but they do it anyway. They do it anyway. So continue to do it. And if you are on the fence about getting in touch with us because you don't know what our group does, or you don't want to be in a sad little pity party group, let me just tell you, we are not a sad pity party group. We come together, we laugh, we cry, we share, we try to reach out if there's something going on with something in her home, in a widow's home for that matter, that you can't get resolved. Get in touch with us, because we are a resource, and that means that we know other plumbers, electricians. We have a link on our website of a directory of assistance of approved and respected businesses in this community, tradesmen, if you want to call it, in this community. We have listed who does roofs. We have listed who does termite and moisture things. We have somebody for septic systems. We have electrical. We have a handyman. We have different people that I have worked with over 20 years in real estate and beyond that we have added to our business directory, so that if you have concerns about things in your home and you don't know who to call, and your husband was the one doing that, we have a link on our website. And if you don't know how to do that, we have printouts now. You can get those when you come to our meetings. That is what you can do. So thank you, Barbara, for coming. Thank you for this time. See you next week. Bye-bye.